Okay, we want to talk about the stage tree area. We have within our stage a two-column system. We have the stage over here on the right, and we have the stage tree area over here on the left column. To begin, I'm going to open up a scene here just so that we have some animation to preview. So the stage tree area shows a representation of all the animated items within the current scene. This can be an overview of all the directors, actors, and channels that are used to create animations within your current scene. So I have a scene open. If I want to expand my server tree, I have a plus button right here. I could click on that and that expands everything. I also have additional plus buttons here and then another one, and we can keep plussing down to reveal all of our animations. Once you have a plus button, you have a collapse button or a minus sign next to it, which will then collapse that. Now the stage tree bar up here allows a few more options. We have a plus sign again, and let me just minus our little default director here so that it's back to normal, and then we'll hit this little plus sign up in the stage tree bar, and what that does is automatically reveal all of the animation actors within each container or director, and it saves you the time of having to come in individually and plus or minus each one. Next to that little plus there is a minus. So if we want to quickly collapse that stage tree bar, we can. Now next to that, there is an add director button. So a director allows us to organize animations and separate animations out. And you can watch more on the basic and advanced animation to check that out. A director, we have a couple options. When we right click, we can rename it. We can delete the director. And then we also have options to add keyframes: scene, live clip, graphics channel, super channel, image channel. And if we want it, we could actually take any type of animation and drag it into a new director. If I rename this, we can take an animation and just drag it and use our hierarchy structure buttons to place it where we need to. So now we have a new animation within that director, and you can slide it outside of that director as well. As mentioned, directors are helpful for separating out animations. Now we can zoom into our stage by using the Z button, or we could zoom out using the X. So next to the D or director button is the A button, which is the action button, and we can click on that and it's going to give us a new naming prompt here. And we can come in and give this a name. So I'm going to call it Action 1. I'm going to click OK. When we do that, it creates a new different colored actor down here that we can come in and now create action keyframes for. So I have an action, and what we would do with this is we would slide our timeline bar wherever we want this action to happen, and we could come over and click add the keyframe button. However, this keyframe button now looks a little bit different than the ones that we used in the basic and advanced animation videos. What this keyframe does is allows us to type in action script. So for instance, if I wanted to use a little bit of the Vizrt action script to set an action for an action to happen at this particular time in the stage, I can. And if you're not familiar with action script, you can watch the action script videos. So for example, I would just need to come in here and start typing my action script, and then I would just need to complete it with anything that I wanted to write in there. If I wanted it to loop this director or swing the director or anything like that, we could do that. As I mentioned, you can cover the action keyframe video to learn more about that. So the next two buttons are jump to next and jump to previous animation. So this selects the next or previous channel in the stage if a container has multiple animation channels. So we basically have three things going on within our stage tree menu. We have what is a director, and if we click the little D button right there, it will add a new director. We also have our animations, so if we come into our scene tree and click on any container, it will highlight that animation within our stage tree. So we have our animation channels besides the director, and then we can also have an action within the stage tree. This column you can move around, so there's a place you put your mouse and you'll get a little icon to move that column. So above our stage tree, we have our view here. We had ours set to dope sheet / spline view, and when we are on that view, we get both the animations and the spline view when we click on a keyframe. If we were to open up a animation container here, when we click on a keyframe, you can see down here that we have our spline view for that particular keyframe. If we come up into our dope sheet view, now our spline goes away and all we have are our keyframes. If we come up again and switch this to spline view, now all we have is the spline view. And if you want both views, you can use the dope/spline view, and that will show both the splines and the keyframes.